did to our forefathers. You don't want justice for this? You damn right I want justice for this. So guess what? I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that day happens. In order for Jesus' return to come, 1/3 of Israel got to repent. Out of 144,000. That's what we out here. We're trying to find out if y'all is it. So why are we out here selling drugs to one another, John? Why are we out here sleeping, laying down with our women, turning them into whores? Why we do that? You know why? Because we follow after our oppressors. Give me that. Give me that Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. You know why? Because these Jewish executives, you know what they do? They pay our brothers to make money, demoralizing our sisters and our brothers, and glorifying drugs, murder, and rape in our neighborhoods. That's the reason why we do those things. Because we look at Lil Wayne, we say, I want to be like Lil Wayne. You look at, you see all them tattoos on LeBron James, guess what? I want all them tattoos too. I'm lying. What's your name, bro? Malachi. You got a righteous name. That's right. Malachi. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. But we got to come out of that mindset. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. And be thou not the oppressor.
You hear what God said? The oppressor is the person that did this to us. Right. The oppressor is the one that says that your last name is Smith. Right. Nigga, your last name is Johnson. Your last name is Jones. Right. That's your oppressor. The one that beat us and whip us every day. The one that we the first, every time we get on the job, we scared. Because guess what? When they want to do cuts, we know we about to be the first ones to go. Right. That's who it is. The oppressor. God says, envy thou not the oppressor. Watch this.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
God says choose none of his ways. His birthdays, his Christmas, his Thanksgiving, his New Year's, all that garbage. His church system, you gotta walk the hell up out of those wicked behind churches. You understand? Because guess what? There's a church on every mile, every corner you see a church here, right? DJ shaking their head. Well, how has that changed our community? It ain't changed our community a damn bit. We still selling drugs to one another. We still killing each other. We still murdering each other. We still, all our sisters want to be a independent black woman, right? That's what they teach us. I want to be independent. I don't need nobody. But no independent Chinese woman, no independent white woman. I never hear those terms. Why those terms got to be prevalent in the black community? Because we destroy within our mind. We don't know who we are. We don't know that we the Israelites. We believe everything our oppressors teach us. My brother, what's your question, Malachi? Come with something good, bro. Yeah. What about it?
Are you scared that Jesus will return or live?
You know what? You don't want to be scared of Jesus. That's why we out here. You see, because you in fear of Jesus' return. Us out here, we not in fear of Jesus' return. We want Jesus' return. That's the reason why we out here. Because guess what? In order for Jesus' return to come, 1/3 of Israel got to repent. Out of 144,000. That's what we out here. We're trying to find out if y'all is it.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the reason why we out here. But you're not supposed to be scared. The only reason why you're scared is why? You're in the mindset of your oppressor. When you come back, go to Revelation chapter 22. When you understand that, guess what? The kingdom of heaven has been established for you and your people, you won't be scared no more. You will want the day of Christ's return. Watch this. Because you know what the day of, I'm sorry, go to Isaiah 14. You know what the day of the Lord is? The day of the Lord is finally judgment and vengeance for all the evil that's been done to us. Look at what they did to our forefathers. Don't you want justice for this? They took at this alligator bait. You see the baby running from the alligator? That's what they did to our forefathers. You don't want justice for this? You damn right I want justice for this. So guess what? I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that day happens. Watch this. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
So right now, we in the hoods, we in the ghettos, we struggling, but guess what? God said He gonna have mercy on Jacob. Who is Jacob? The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who you all are. You are the Israelites according to the Bible. Read.
And will yet choose Israel.
He's still gonna choose Israel. Right? Read on.
And set them in their own land.
He's gonna set us in our own land. Why? Because we've been dispersed. Step over here for a second. Through the transatlantic slave trade, we've been dispersed to the four corners of the earth. You got some of our brothers in Jamaica, in Haiti, in Cuba, all over the place. You got some in Milwaukee, some in Charleston, we all over the place. So God said, guess what? I'm going to set them back in their own land. Meaning what? The real children of Israel would have to be dispersed. So that white man that's sitting in the land right now, the Jewish man, could never be the Israelites. Because it said Christ got to return and set them back in the land. Read.
And yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them.
So the strangers are the other nations. It said the strangers going to be joined with them. In your mindset, you get that Christian mindset, oh, kumbaya, we all going to be together. Oh no, that's not what's going to happen to the strangers. Let's find out what the plan is for the strangers. Read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
So it says we're going to take these nations and bring them to that place. Watch this.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
What? The house of Israel shall do what?
Shall possess them.
It says we're going to possess those nations. Malachi, when you possess something, what that mean? DJ, when you possess something, what that mean? Right now, I see you got a set of car keys in your hand. What's that mean? That's your car. I can't come take your car, right? Your car belongs to you. Wherever you decide, when you get in that car, you start up, wherever you decide to go, that's your decision. Meaning with them other nations, we gonna have them do whatever it is that we desire for them. Read.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. Guess what we did for them? Was we not servants for them? Was we not handmaids for them? Wasn't our grandmothers breastfeeding the babies? Didn't we do all this? So guess what? In order for God to be a just God, right? Because that's what they tell you in the church. Oh, God is a just God. In order for him to be a just God, guess what gotta happen? The same evil they did to us gotta happen to them. That's it. That's the only way that can be legit. And guess what? God's word don't lie. Read.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
It says we gonna take them captives, whose captives we were. We was brought over here on those cargo slave ships. Stuck in the damn bottom of them ships getting defecated on and all kind of garbage. Our forefathers had to jump off the damn ship because they was getting damn abused. These are the things that happen. So guess what? The white man, he gotta get this judgment back on him. Read.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
God says we gonna rule over our oppressors. So why is it that we so adamant about going to vote? Talking about I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. To hell with being a Republican and a Democrat. To hell with that. I'm waiting for Christ to return so I can get back to this right here, DJ. That's what you want. I know it don't look like that. I know we look like we losing right now, but guess what? God got a plan for us to win. These are the things that's not taught in the church. Malachi, you grew up in the church, ain't it? You ever heard that before? You ain't never heard that. You know why? Guess who established your church system? Guess who did it? This man right here. That so-called neighborhood white man. He's the one that did it. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. I'm going to show you. He's the one that did it. That's why you never hear scriptures like this. That's why you never knew about Christmas. That's why you never knew, because guess what? They get paid to keep the Bible closed in that church. Oh, awesome. Turn that thing around right there. Look at this right here, DJ. Check that out. I'm sorry, bro. I took you there. Check this out. You see all these right here? Which one were you in? They got Seventh-day Adventists, they got Jehovah's Witness, they got Pentecostal, they got Baptist, they got Mormon. These are the different churches and religions that's out here. On the bottom, you got Islam. Over here, you got Rastafarianism. All of these religions are people, 9 times out of 10, our people is in one of these right here. But if you check it out, yes, take a picture, sis. That's what I'm talking about. Malachi, you need to take a picture too. You got a phone? Oh, that's good. How old are you? 16. You 16? Okay, all the praises. Where are your parents at? They over here, they know you listening to this? Okay, all praises, all praises. We got a school here, Malachi, so you can learn more. Because guess what? You're going to need to be guided as a young man. You can't figure all these things out on your own. Right? So, 9 times out of 10, our people are in these religions right here. DJ, you see who's at the head of all these religions right here? The white man. That's why God say, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Our people go and they follow after these different doctrines, but they've been created by their oppressor. And you know what it is? It's to keep them oppressed. That's what it is. That's why then when you figure out that this is garbage, guess what they tell you? Oh, you need to go and vote. You need to exercise your rights. You don't have no rights. Every 25 years, they gotta go and vote for you to be able to have the right to vote. So what kind of rights could you have? You ain't got no rights out here. The only right you got is to keep God's laws or die. That's Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Because we think we got all these choices out here. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American, Indian man. You ain't got no damn choices out here. God gave you 2 choices. And I'm gonna read them right here. Watch that, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I set before you life and death.
God said he set before you life and death. Let's find out how you get either life or death.
Blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life.
God says choose life because there's blessing and cursing. Meaning what? If you keep the commandments of God, there's blessing behind it. There's the kingdom of heaven that you're going to inherit. If you break God's commandment, not only are you going to get harassed, beaten, and die here, when Christ returns, you're going to die with your oppressors. Ain't that going to be a sad thing? It's time for you to get redeemed finally. All this evil that these people have done to us. And now it's time for our redemption and we're going to die right along with our oppressors. That would be a damn shame. But that's what they want. That is what they want. So now you got to choose. Choose life or choose death. Watch this, read on.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
You got to do it so you and your seed can live. Because when you start getting yourself right, DJ, and you start putting on that modest apparel, and you get married, and now you have a Lord to be able to help guide you, guess what? You're going to have children. Now you got to teach these children what it is to be righteous, what it is to be a wife, what it is a daughter, what it is required to support a husband. That's what you got to do. Then you got to raise your young sons to be avengers, to go out there and stand firm and bold on the word of God. Go to Psalms 94:16. Watch this. Watch this, Malachi. This is what God is calling you to do. You think that you're just 16. No, you ain't just 16. Trust me, there's a spirit that's in man. This is what God can use your spirit to help deliver your brothers and sisters out of the mental slavery of captivity that they hear in this area. Watch this.
Psalms chapter 94 and verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoer?
You hear what God said? God said, who? What's your name? Say it again. Joshua. Look, that's a mighty name, Joshua. Joshua, you hear what he's saying to you? Because where your father from? Where your father from?
Texas.
He's from Texas?
Yeah.
What's he so-called Hispanic?
He's black.
He's black. So you be from the tribe of Judah. You a Judite, man. Watch this. Listen to what God said. This is what God talking to us right here. Watch this. Read. We got to answer this call. We got to answer this call. Read.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoer?
God says, which one of y'all going to rise up for him against the evildoers? If you're looking at us right here, guess what? We done took the call. We gonna stand up and rise up against this evil that's going on out here. Men and men can be married, woman and woman can be married, garbage. We never gonna bow the knee to that. We never gonna agree to that. And we're not gonna hold our peace on how evil it is. That's what y'all need to do. Read.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
God said, who gonna stand up for him against the workers of iniquity? All these people that come out here with these evil laws to destroy our people, to create these programs called WIC, Women, Infant, Child. There's no man in the household, so that way that sister feel emboldened to kick the man out the house. Like you heard that sister say earlier, she was proud to say she would kick her husband out of the house. She don't realize the destruction that she's doing to herself and to those kids with no father in the house. Because a father is the only one that can teach a young man how to be a man. Your mama she can only do so much. Mama can only kiss those boo-boos for so long. When this man become a man, guess what? He need another man to teach him how to be a man. So if you kick your husband out your house, you hate your children. Read.
And verse 17. Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence.
So watch this. Go to 1 Kings 2 and 1. Joshua, have you heard this before that you're an Israelite according to the Bible? You have. How long ago have you heard?
I mean, I was just told
this.
Oh, you just told just a few minutes ago. All right, so now the thing is this, Joshua. You got laws and commandments that we are required to keep as a people. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why when you wake up every day, you go outside your house, you look at these conditions. These conditions are set in place because our minds have to change. We have to recognize, I'm sorry, I got you holding. Go to Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. We have to change our mindset. Because before hearing this, what is your mindset on? What was your mind on?
My mind was really on like my kid.
You got kids?
I got one kid on the way.
You got one kid on the way. How old are you?
19.
19 years old, you got a kid on the way. So now, guess what? You gotta fast forward your timeline. Because now, you're gonna be responsible for another young soul. Is it a boy or girl? You know what it is?
Not yet.
You don't know yet, right? So now so are you married? Here it is. See what I'm saying? The cycle continues. Because guess what? If you don't marry that sister, what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up getting put on child support, right? You and the sister ain't gonna get along because there's gonna be things that how you wanna raise a child, and then she gonna wanna raise a child the way that the television tell her to raise it. Right. And then now you got you in a world full of problems, stress. Guess what? God saying alleviate all of that and marry the sister, right? Right. But you wanna make sure you marry a righteous sister. You don't wanna marry Cardi B. You don't wanna marry Sexy Red. A sister that don't got her mind right, that's just all about the destruction of her men. You don't want to marry a sister like Glorilla. Because guess what? You're going to have a disaster in your house. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get yourself right, and now you got to find a righteous sister that'll be able to help you walk in this truth. A sister that's righteous that you'll be able to say, she's able to raise my kids the way that I want them to be raised. You understand what I'm saying? Because if not, you're going to get a sister that's going to raise them according to how our oppressors want them raised. And our oppressors want them raised to sell drugs to one another, kill one another, and guess what? Lay down and continue to hoard them. Sleep with different women, have different babies everywhere with no fathers. You know what that makes? That makes for a full prison system, and that makes for a destroyed black and Hispanic community. That's what that is. That's the recipe. And you know what? While we out here struggling, they living in, I don't know where they live over here, but I already know that, what is it? New Berlin. I knew there was a place. It don't matter where we go. There's a place where they're at, and there's a place where we at. And where we at is always struggling, rape, robbery, murder. The places all dismantle. DJ, we want to see you at the school, sis. All right, you got that flyer? Call that number, sis, because guess what? Remember, you only got two choices. Two choices. What's the two choices? Life or death. So y'all choose what? Choose life. That's what God said. God said choose life. That's what he wants for you. My brother Josh, hey, brethren, you got to come down to the school and learn. There's more. Watch this. Go to 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. Was your father in your life? Passed away in 2019. Watch this. 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. I'm going to show you because a lot of us, we didn't have our fathers. You know what I'm saying? I have my father now to tell me what it is to be a man. So I went out here and tried to I stumbled up and tried to figure it out on my own. You know what I'm saying? We made a lot of mistakes. So now, guess what? God loves you so much. Guess what? He put more than fathers around you. You got fathers, older brothers that help guide you and say, hey, Joshua, no, don't do that. Do this. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never had that in our community before. That's right. But I'm telling you straight up, bro, this is what you get when you decide to change your mind, leave them streaks behind, and come in and serve the Lord. Watch it.
1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man.
You hear what he told Solomon? He said, listen, this is what is the directions that his father gave to his son. He said, go there and go throughout the whole earth and show yourself to be a man. Today, when our elders tell us to show ourselves to be a man, guess what they say? Hey, how many sisters you done? How much ass you done got? Right. Hey, how much pussy you done got? This, and that. That's what our elders teach us. Right. But as we can see, David didn't do that. He instructed his son. He said, "Go throughout all the earth and show yourself to be a man." How? How you show yourself to be a man? Read.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
Do what?
Keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
That's what you got to do, Joshua. You got to keep the charge of the Lord thy God. What is the charge of the Lord thy God? Listen close.
To walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments.
To keep his what?
His statutes and his commandments.
You're supposed to keep his statutes and his commandments.
That's right.
But Joshua, you're not going to be able to do that if you don't know what the commandments and the statutes are. So now you got to go to a place where you can learn what God's laws, statutes, and commandments are. So you can walk in the same footsteps as Solomon. And you've seen how successful Solomon was, right? But look what Solomon said. Go to Ecclesiastes 12 and just, I think 13. Yeah, 12 and 13. I want you to listen to what Solomon said. A lot of us, in our mind, we want to get the best job so we can have all the money in the world, so we can buy the fancy car and the house with the picket fence. But guess what? Listen to what the wisest man on the face of the earth, who had all of that. He had all of that. He had all the women, all the money, all the fame, everything. But look at what he said. Watch this.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
So Solomon said, let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. After all the things that I've done, let me tell you the most important advice I can give you. Read.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
He said at the end of the day, bro, fear God and keep the commandments of God. That's the bottom line. To hell with all this chasing money and doing all this. He said, fear God and keep his commandments. Read.
For this is the whole duty of man.
Joshua, this is the whole reason why you're on the face of the earth.
That's right.
This is your duty. This is our duty. Is to learn the commandments of God and raise up our people out of this decayed state.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.